Good evening and welcome to the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League. A brand new season beckons as we begin the second season of 2026 here at the Autódromo Jose Carlos Pache in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I am Tom Cans in the commentary position with Jim Cunningham, who will be taking us for the ride of our lives around this brilliant racetrack, hosting the first of 12 rounds, which will begin this evening. Looking at the races we go to this season, we start off at Interlagos, then we go to Road Atlanta, followed by the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Then it's off to Mugello in Italy, and then we get to Hockenheim, Germany, followed by the Portimao circuit at the Algarve International Circuit in Portugal. Then it's VIR in the USA, followed by Watkins Glen. Then it's back to Europe at the Hungaroring in Hungary, Imola, Italy, Nürburgring, Germany, and we conclude at the Land of the Rising Sun in Japan on June the 7th. It should be a breathtaking season with 50 drivers around this evening to kickstart proceedings for the brand new campaign. Let's get a word from Jim Cunningham as we enter the final few minutes of qualifying, where Nick Nagler will be hoping to retain his crown this season. He's currently P2 on the Time and Terror. Jim, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. Good to be here with you. Season 2 of 2026. I have to say, man, looking at that, and I mentioned this to you pre-race when we were getting ready to come on the air, that schedule is absolutely phenomenal, man. Like, there's so many good tracks on that schedule season. Like, every one of them, I'm like, oh, that's going to be a good race. That's going to be a good race. You know, they really, whoever did the scheduling did a fantastic job, because they really picked some bangers. And to start off right here at Interlagos, I mean, you can't beat it. What a great place to start the season.
Absolutely. The former opening round of Formula One back in 1994 and 95. And of course, it's Brazilian Grand Prix predecessor Ricardo Pagua used to host the opening round for a period of time before circuits changed to Interlagos. I have to say, it is a fan favourite, this track, and it has put on some really good races. No matter which series competes here, it has put on a show for the beloved Brazilian crowd. Johan Net is the fastest of them all, hoping to go better than he did last season. Despite picking up 7 wins, he ended the season in 4th in the Drivers' Championship, so he needs a more consistent run to ensure he becomes champion this season.
I tell you what, you know, we were talking pre-race about the championship and the fact that, you know, we were talking to Johan Annette, or I brought up that Johan Annette didn't. It was surprising that he didn't win the championship. You know, Nick Nagler was so consistent last year. I mean, I can't even tell you the amount of second places he had. But, you know, Annette winning all of those races and still not winning the championship. I know he missed several rounds, and that's why. But, man, he sure felt like he dominated the season when he was here. But towards the end there, we started to see some guys that were keeping up with his pace. And mid-season, we had a race where, you know, Krish Patel was actually, you know, beating him on track and holding him off, and ended up getting involved in an incident. I can't wait to see if you know, if the field is kind of leveled out a little bit this season, and you know, and to see if his dominance is going to continue.
We'll see soon enough. There is a race briefing which the drivers will have been made aware of before tonight got underway. There are no active overtakes until turn 3. That is the Curva de Sol that leads onto the Reta Oposta. Once you go through that zone, on lap number 1, overtakes can now take place. However, there are no 3 wides on the first lap. As usual, no matter how tempting it might be, and voluntarily driving off track to gain an advantage, making or defending a pass is illegal, even if done only once. So the aim is to avoid driving off track once, especially in turn 4 on the left-hand side. But if it happens a few times by mistake, it is no big deal. Going excessively wide in T4 with a car fully beyond the curb may be penalised post-race, even if done sporadically. Driving off track on corner entry is illegal, even there is no incidents being given. Always keep 2 wheels fully on the track, and going off track between turn 7R and turn 8R will be scrutinised and possibly penalised. Turn 7, 8 and R is essentially the right-handers, 8 being the slower before the hairpin of turn 9 of Pinheirinho.
What an absolutely amazing circuit this place is. And it's like you said in your intro, it doesn't matter what class of cars you bring here. They all seem to produce good racing here. For some reason, this track just, it doesn't matter what the class of cars are. It can be anything from like Formula Fords, you know, all the way up to Formula One car. And it's always good racing.
It has produced a lot of brilliant racing. 50 drivers, I've only mentioned, have been out on the circuit in this qualifying session, have posted lap times. Yeah. Now, as we all know, I was going to say the maximum allocation you can have in an iRacing session is 60. But 50 it is for this evening, which is more than enough in my point of view. But
well, more than enough. Yeah, I was going to say 50 drivers on track there's going to be chaos, even with all the best driving standards being applied. It's just a lot of cars, And
so qualifying has finished with Johan Annette setting the fastest lap time, not by much, but it is enough for him to go to pole position by 0.2 of a second from the reigning champion Nick Nagler. As we see the drivers make their way back into the pit lane, we've got the likes of Mark Almanza, who is one of the debutants for a few teams under the Comunidad Alien Team franchise, if you want to call it that. There is the Orient sister team, there's the Nebulosa team, and there is the Omega team, along with Hydra, which Tony Jimenez is part of this campaign.
So I wanted to tell everybody real quick, while we got a few seconds left here in qualifying as they're finishing up, we are going to be following the team battles during the race a little more this year. I am currently working on adding all of the new teams and stuff, so we probably won't have all of that up today, but in the coming weeks as the team battle heats up, we're gonna bring a lot of that to the action. And because of the size of the grid, we're going to go with this grid today, which is a little different. Tom hasn't even seen this, but it's a 10-car grid. That way we can scroll through them a little bit faster.
And Johan is on pole position with Nick Nagler alongside Brad Fulliger and Chris Patel on row number 2. Then it's Tony Jimenez, the former champion, in 5th place out of Yunus Amal. Then we've got Ludovic Ranson and Justin Carrizosa in 7th and 8th. Mehmet Tassi and Max Giacchino round out the top 10. Then it's the German Alexander Schutzke in 11th place, followed by Rob Ridgway. Then it's Stefan Dodderer and Max Bartolotta in 13th and 14th. Luca Ferrani and Dan Sagers on row number 8, followed by Andy Flint and Clark Williams. Vincenzo Taumina and Scott Taylor round up the top 20. We've got Paul LeMay and Kuchi Ito on row number 11. Then it's Justin Fields and Miguel Gutierrez on the 12th row. Stu Mullen and Syke Willems are on row number 13, ahead of Richard Van Veen and Nguyen on the 14th row. Round out the top 30 are the 2 Italians of Filippo Casey and Marcello Caruso. In 31st and 32nd places are John McKenzie and Simon Fessi. Then we've got Alejandro Cesania and Eric Scaldaferri. Then it's Giovanni Solito and Esia Lopez. Then it's Jose Luciana and Mark Almanza on row number 19. Then it's Harry Saston and Robert Walton. Mark Heppel and Eddie Amos in 41st and 42nd places. Then it's Dorian Arroyo and Grace Hotala on row 22. Paul Distelli and Patrick Rowlands are on row 23, followed by George Taylor and Alan Talsma on the 25th and final row of the grid. We've got Hutch Cabasuelo and Adam Sands.
I just want to apologize right now to every one of you that I butcher your names, especially if you're new to the league. Look at this lineup, would you? This is all these cars out here, man.
Yep. Well, they've got 5 seconds till the lights come on, and they are coming on now. And we are prepared to go for the second season of 2026 in this championship. Lights are on. Lights off, it's go. And Johan and Nick Naga get away. No active overtakes, as I've already mentioned, in the first 3 corners. You can start overtaking once you go through that. But it is Annette who leads the way. And then it's Nagler in second place.
Oh my God, somebody's in the wall hard in the back.
Yeah, there's plenty of cars affected at the start. We'll get to that shortly. It's not Luca Ferrani, it's Robert Walton who has been affected. Paul Distelli and Eddie Amos, I think, have got involved as well, but more on that later. But at the moment, the drivers go through the magenta zone where they can now start overtaking, and it's Annette who leads the way. The top 10 are the same as where they were on the grid. Dan Sagers has made up 4 positions from 16th to 12th, but that first lap isn't without incident at the moment as the drivers continue to fight their way through this Interlagos racetrack.
Yeah, that was a crazy start back there. I'm going to be really curious to see what happened there. But other than that, everybody in the front got away pretty clean, and now we're starting to see some overtakes happening.
35 laps it will be. It won't be an hour long. It will be 35 laps as the field just comes towards Bica de Pato. As we look at Paul LeMay, part of the Two Brothers Racing team, running in 20th position. His brother Michael isn't around tonight, but hopefully he will be around later in the campaign. He's got Scott Taylor in front of him, so Paul LeMay has at least got a job to do to try and pass his compatriot. But back at the front, we've got Johan in the lead. But how long will he remain there, though, Jim?
Well, I mean, the thing about Johan Annette is you get him out in front like that, and it's hard to reel him back in. So we'll see, but I got a feeling that, especially if they start battling behind, he'll pull away pretty quickly.
Yep, and there was a move from Dan Sagers past Robert Ridgway up into 11th position, so he's continuing to make an impressive start to this race. Nick Nagler thinking about a move on Annette at the end of the Retro Aposta. And further back, we look at Justin Carrizosa, who has Mehmet Taski for company. Carrizosa goes off the circuit at Decida de Lago. As he comes back on, he's got the Turkish driver to his left. Now he's more than a car lengths behind, so he can take the race line through Ferragera.
Yeah, this is everything's shaping up pretty good so far. Settling out here a little bit. I mean, it's going to take a little while. I want to go back and see that incident that started at the beginning of this race, though.
I mentioned it was Robert Walton and Paul Distelli. They were the cars affected. I don't know if Harry Seston actually got that far either, so it doesn't look like he's continued
to
circulate.
It looks like he's part of it too. All right, so let's see here. Probably going to be slow. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at this from the air.
It was already kicking off ahead,
yeah.
And Paul Distelli actually got hit by someone whilst he was trying to avoid it.
Yeah, that's for a real quick look at that again from the air. If you touch there, it seems like somebody got rear-ended there, and then that's what kicked it off.
Yeah, but I think others were just really slow away compared to those that saw the green light.
I think, well, and that's the nature of 50 cars taking off from a standing start. That's going to happen to some degree. And
we see Annette, and now we look further back at Stefan Dodderer, running in 13th position. And in front of him is Robert Ridgway, who is looking to make an improvement from last season. Looking at Stefan Dodderer, who had a more consistent time of it last season, where he ended the championship in 17th.
He did.
But he did pick up a good few results along the way, despite the retirements. He also picked up 6 non-finishes he had last season, but he also picked up a 2nd, 2 thirds, and a 4th position.
Yeah, and Robert Ridgway actually improved last season as well. He started to see some better results there. So it's good to see him back. Obviously, people don't leave this league. It's such a great league. It's literally the premier Super Formula Lights league on iRacing. So this is where you want to be if you want to race Super Formula Lights.
There we look at Justin Fields down the field as we switch our attentions to Scott Taylor ahead. Now Taylor, who's in the
Bartolotta right there going by.
Yeah, that's Bartolotta going through on Taylor, 4 positions. So Taylor down to 19th, Bartolotta in 18th position. And behind Taylor is Clark Williams,
yeah,
in that green and white livery. And there we look at Taylor attacking Bartolotta on the Retro Aposta. Looking to the outside. Is he going to be later on the break compared to Bartolotta? He's not. Bartolotta has the inside line, and so he used that to his advantage and remains in front for now. But there we look at Taylor, who's switching to the racing line, the outside line, which is ideally where you want to be, depending on how brave you are. Is Taylor going to have his nose in front? Well, he's got all 4 wheels over the white line, so had he pulled that move off, it may have been deemed as an illegal overtake. But he remains behind Bartolotta for now.
We saw
those. The field continues to dice it out.
We saw those two fight a lot last year, Bartolotta and Scott Taylor. Bartolotta showed a lot of speed last year. He ran up near the front a lot. Had his fair share of incidents, but definitely showed phenomenal pace during the year. He was running in the top 10 and quite a bit last year, so quite impressive.
The knocked out at the front is that Brad Fulliger is now in 2nd place, ahead of Nick Nagler. We didn't see the overtake, but we know he's pulled off the overtake on Nagler and he's gone through into P2. So Brad Fulliger is coming alive again, just as he did last season. Runner-up, he ultimately took 2 non-finishes along the way, but he had picked up 3 wins at Road America, Miami, and Barcelona.
Yeah, he really did have a good season. It's always fun to watch. Let's see. All right, here is the overtake.
This is at the pit straight into the center S.
I think he got him going down into the center S there. I mean,
That was a neat pass.
Kind of a classic Interlagos pass right there, you know, coming down that long straightaway and just kind of catching the draft off of him. Good job, though.
Yeah, he's trying to use the draft as well from Annette to stay in touch, but he is finding it difficult. We've seen Annette, whenever he's fighting at the front, or he is at the front, he usually pulls away, and that is Ranson going off the circuit, handing the position to Amal, and the loss in momentum has allowed Mehmet Taski to get alongside, and he's also heading through the open door. So that is Taski through, and Ranson down 2 positions from that error.
Yeah, let's see if the draft is going to help him get back up there.
So far, so good for Yunus Amal. We know the number of times he's made mistakes in the past, particularly last season when he kept tripping over other drivers.
Well, you know it's bad when your team name is "I will crash tonight for sure." I can't help myself. That's pretty funny. Tell you what, Nick Nagler is not letting go of a Fulliger here at all.
He's not. And, this is allowing Annette to pull further and further clear of these. Chris Patel is the next driver behind in 4th position. Next to Tony Jimenez and Yunus Amal, who's got 2 seconds to make up on the Spaniard.
This is, I'm going to jump back here real quick. Let's look up a little 2 Milne and Justin Fields here, I believe it is.
It is Fields going on through past Milne. This is for 25th position. So a little bit further down the order, what I have realised is that because there's more than 50 drivers, 43 are due to get points. So if you are finishing 44th or below, you may not get any points. As we see a spin going on further ahead, it's Clark Williams. It's Clark Williams on the exit of Yunsao, and that's him falling down the order. And that's a terrible shame because it was running rather well actually, was Clark, but all that gain he had made up has just totally disappeared.
Yeah, he's down now, 37th place, I believe. I got distracted by this nice pass right here from Eric. I can't say his last name yet.
Eric Scaldaferri.
Scaldaferri. Okay, I can probably remember that one.
Yeah, Scaldaferri through on Giovanni Solito for 30th position. 3 drivers out of the race so far, or at least not circulating. They are Eddie Amos, Mark Almanza, and Harry Sasson. Those are the 3 who have gone no further. Paul Distelli is down a lap in 47th position. Robert Wilson is still on the lead lap. He's not too far away actually from being lapped by the leaders.
Well, I'll tell you what, this little group right here has been at it the entire race so far. With Ridgway, Stefan Dotterer. Right in front of him is Max Caccino.
It's Giacchino at the head of this queue. And he's hoping to keep hold of it here, but he's going to find it very tough to do so. There was a change for position between Mehmet Taski and Ludovic Ranson, and Taski is being able to hold on to the position, but now Ranson has got Carasosa in his mirrors.
All over him.
He's also fancying his chances.
Yeah, Carasosa is he's right in there. Good run from him too. This is top 10. Good stuff here.
Now where is Carasosa? He's going to place the car. He's gone 2 times and runs into Ranson at the Descida Largo corner, and the front wing is gone off Carasosa's car.
And that tore up.
Yeah, Ranson is off the racetrack as well. He's going to probably need to put in for repairs. And Carasosa, who is running so well, has completely ruined his race, and Ranson's for that matter, by running into him.
Let's see here. I'll try to find this whole incident if I can. Probably best to go back to the chopper view again. So what happened? Oh. So
I'll have to put it on Carasosa on that one.
Well, yes, but I tell you what happened there was Ranson looked like he had his brake bias set too far to the rear. And if you watch, right as he gets on the brakes, the back end of the car gives a big twitch and causes him to slow down, which is why he got hit. You see it there? How the car twitched and he slowed down? And I think that's what caused that dramatic loss in speed, which is why he got hit. But, oh my goodness, so unfortunate.
Yeah, both cars are back in the pit lane, Carasosa and Ranson. So they'll get back into it, but the races are going to have to be... it's going to be a recovery drive, I think, from the pair of them, if they're to salvage it.
Has gotten back by Fulliger again. See if I can find that pass for you real quick.
We're on lap 9 of the race, and Nagler is back into second position behind Johan Annette, who should be the favourite to win this one. He's only 1.7 seconds clear, but he has been gradually increasing the margin.
Yeah, slowly.
Further back, we look at Stefan Dodderer. Further back is in a battle of his own with Max Cicchino for 9th as they go through the Pinerino hairpin. And Dodderer is still there. He may be able to send it through Bica de Pato if he's daring to do so, but he's a little bit too far back to go for a move. And this is the pass for second place from Nagler on Fulliger, Jim.
Yep, Chipper again. That's same, down into the center S, coming off the long back straight there. I mean, it is that's the classic pass here for sure. What's funny is I just saw an off track right as I went to click on that, but like it's nothing. But I thought I saw an off track there from Nagler, but must not have been anything serious.
Well, another driver is falling down the order is Vincenzo Taormina.
There is. Oh, that's why.
That's the center S where he's gone rounds. He's come back onto the circuit.
So easy to do there too. Take a look real quick at what happened to him there.
This is with who was that he was fighting? Was that Andy Flint he was fighting with?
That looks right. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well, he came too close and ended up locking the rear brakes as he made contact and went round.
Nice job spinning it around there. That was kind of impressive.
Yeah, at least he wasn't exactly on the racing line when he was trying to get back onto the circuit there.
He stayed off. Yeah, he did a good job there. But unfortunately, that's got him down in 26th place, so he's down 6 from where he started, plus he lost all his progress he had earlier. I have to say, Bartolotta running back here in 18th place. Last year we called his name a lot up towards the front. I have to say I'm a bit surprised that he's down here 18th.
Looking at where he finished last season, Max Bartolotta, 8th in the standings. He got 4 podium finishes last season, all of which being 3rd places.
This battle here is done up into it, I think.
Yep, it looks like Cicchino may have ended up in the barrier. Oh, he had. I clipped the barrier.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely clipped the pit wall entrance there. Oh, that is crazy. I've never seen that.
No, I haven't, and that's put him and Stefan Dodderer out of the race as well.
Was he blocked?
No.
I know. He should have seen it. That's just an error, I think. Oh, he's got to be frustrated with himself, huh?
Oh, not half. But yeah, Dodderer will be more frustrated than he is.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, but we've also lost Enquires, who's been caught up in an incident of his own. So we'll find out exactly what has been going on involving.
I feel like I'm doing nothing but chasing incidents just because there's so many people on track,
Well, it is part of your job after all, Jim, so.
That's true. That's a good point. Otherwise, they wouldn't need me here, would they?
No. Well, as we look at Enquires, not Enquires, Brad Fulliger in 3rd place on the tail of Nagler.
I don't see it. Hold on, I'm going to find it, though.
Well, bad news for Paul LeMay fans because he's also been caught up in a spin. It's on the exit of Desida de Largo where he's gone off.
Well, I have to say I am a Paul LeMay fan, just from knowing him from other leagues that we broadcast together here on the JPB network. He's such a good guy, and one of those good guys of sim racing, kind of. This gaggle of cars right here.
Yeah, this is Bartolotta going on the move. Now, the driver who's just got past there is Eric Scaldaferri, who's had a really torrid lap so far.
Max had something happen to him, though. He's down a significant amount of positions. We were just talking about him running in 18th. He's in 26th now.
Yep. Well, it looks like everyone's got through safely there, because Scaldaferri was essentially the cork in the bottle, and everyone was able to open it up and go through.
I need to find out what happened to Bartolotta here. He was slowly making his progress there, and it's only thing I can see is, I guess he. I don't know. That's very weird. I don't know.
Might have been before where he had the spin.
Yeah. Okay. But we'll jump back to live here. I'm still looking for that, what you say in Guy and I say win. I wish we could get a clarification on how he pronounces that. If anybody out there knows him personally and can help us out with that pronunciation, because in America we would pronounce it win, and so I'm just curious as to how he prefers it to be pronounced. I'd love to do it the way he likes. Yeah, Paul LeMay's struggling back there. He's off track again.
Yeah, he's falling down the order once more, his LeMay, so his race is not exactly going to plan. Paul Destelli is running in 43rd position. Markel Mansa is still in the race. Adam Sands is not. He's out of it, as is Nguyen, who's stopped. Stefan Dodderer has also gone out, along with Patrick Rellins, Eddie Amos and Harry Saston. Johan Net's lead is coming up to 3.5 seconds now over Brad Fulliger, who's now back into second place ahead of Nick Nagler. There are no mandatory pit stops, just so that you know. It's essentially a sprint from lights to flag, and well, anything can change between now and the end.
Yeah, indeed. This is he going to make a move here? No. I really do love these cars going around this track. There's just something about you know, these formula cars here, the way they just flow around this place, you know.
I mean, these cars do remind me of the Euro Formula Open. They're not exactly the Euro Formula Open cars, but they do have somewhat of a vibe about them. But you see the dice between Fulliger and Nagler over at Interlagos, and through goes Fulliger again into second place. So this battle isn't dying down any soon. We see Fulliger leading Nagler up the hill again.
Johan Annette is the biggest cheerleader on track for these two right here. Absolutely. He wants them just to keep on battling. I'll tell you who else is probably pretty excited about it is Krish Patel, because he is closing that gap up. He is right on their back door now.
He is on the tail of these two for second place. Tony Jimenez is a little bit further back, 1.5 seconds off these three. He's got Eunice, Emma Momentaski, Rob Ridgway, Alex Schuster and Luca Ferrari rounding up the top 10.
Well, let's take a look at this. Take a look at our biggest movers so far in the race.
This is Adam Telsmer, who's got 17. Likewise for Simon Fessi, Huzu Lesignana, I should say. 15 places he's made up, and it's Haji Cabasuelo and Asia Lopez have also made up 15 positions.
That's
so
incredible.
Brilliant starts.
Yeah, that's some brilliant 17, 18 spots. This, you know, we're what, not even halfway through this race yet. Not even, well, really just three quarters of the way through.
Yeah, I mean, Fulliger's attacking Nagler again, Jim. Yeah, we just saw those two fight it out through Interlagos.
I was looking over here at an incident. We just had Formino just had another incident and jumped to the pits. See what happened to him real.
We've also lost George Taylor, which we'll come to in a moment. There is Vincenzo Termina at Beaker de Pato. Now he does spin. He probably didn't want to rejoin in front of the traffic.
Maybe
because there's too many cars coming through.
I mean, if that was the reason, good on him. Looks like Taylor must have got into something heavy here, because Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that's a big shot, too.
Yeah.
Big shot.
Too much of a hit there from George Taylor, so he's out of the race.
What a battle this is, man. It literally kept the camera on these two the entire race.
Yeah, that is Nagler and Fulliger fighting over second place. Chris Patel has got himself involved in this in that black livery.
Involved.
The man in the red helmet, Chris Patel, the American, hoping to take two in one go here on Nagler and Fulliger. And he's not able to get Fulliger that time around. He hasn't been able to get Nagler either.
No, I think at this point he's just he's looming there waiting for his chance, you know, as those two start to battle, and he can maybe find a little hole and sneak by both of them at the same time. Good to see him waving, you know, of course, being American, you know, not that I'm not pulling for anyone, but, you know, got to root for the Americans, and he's certainly representing right now. Speaking of that, this is something essentially new that we have. So this is your American drivers and how they're doing in the race. We can highlight anybody from any country and show all the drivers from that country and their positions on track, so we'll be able to follow this kind of stuff as well this season. And look, if you're out there watching, get involved in the chat and tell us what you want to see. If you want to find out about the American drivers, let us know, and we'll try to accommodate you and do the best we can with that.
We've got a few Comunidad Alien fans who have joined in the chat as well. Barry is coming with his support for Sonia Jimenez particularly, and Photo Racer TV, whoever you are. Hope you are enjoying the action as we speak. But there we look at Nagler and Fulliger dicing for second place again. Yeah. Not only Patel is in there, but Jimenez is getting close, Jim.
Yeah, Nagler kind of got a little wide there. I thought he might have even got a slowdown, but he didn't.
Well, they're going up the hill. We're coming towards the halfway point in this race. This race has flown by so far, and we've been treated to a good race. I have to say, in terms of the attrition, it hasn't been too much, Jim. No, despite how many cars.
No, not considering there was 50 cars on track. No, it hasn't been near as bad as it could have been. We could have lost as many as we've got gone now on the first lap. You know, I mean.
Well, I was going to say, last season's season opener, if not the season before, where it was held at Interlagos, it was a car breaker. That was when you and Alex Goldschmidt were in the box for that.
Oh, yeah, okay. I wish, to be honest with you, Tom, I wish my mind worked well enough that I could remember all those races back. Oh, Alex Goldschmidt. I hadn't worked with Alex in a while. He's been traveling a lot. It's always good to be here with you. You and I did a lot of these races last year together.
We did.
Sorry, go ahead. Nagler's putting a move, though.
Yeah, well, also Patel to the outside. If he can get alongside and have his nose in front, by the time they get to Interlagos, he may make the move well. Well, he's through on Nagler around the outside. That was a good pass, or so he thought, and he's gone off the road. Oh. He's gone off the road and has to give Pat the position.
Got to watch now. He's got Jimenez all over his behind there, too. What a great top five battle this is.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be too long before Eunice Hamill gets involved.
The top five within about a half a second of each other here.
And this is playing into the hands of Ewan, whose lead is now over 8 seconds and making his way through back markers.
Well, at this point, I'm just happy. I'm happy to see this battle because nobody's going to catch him at this point, short of something happening to him. So we might as well enjoy this great battle here.
And there is Amel in the background getting involved in this. So what was a 2-car battle became a 3-car battle, then a 4-car battle, and soon to be a 5-car battle.
Is that his same livery he ran last year, or no?
It feels different.
It does feel different, doesn't it?
We hope that Lady Luck will be on his side this season. Eunice Amel only finished twice from 10 races he competed in, which is yeah.
I have to say that's shocking to me.
As much as I hate to say it, I agree.
Well, I don't recall that though. Like it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like I don't really seem like I have a recollection of him crashing out that much, but which I guess is good. You know, he always leaves a good impression with me. For some reason, when I think of Eunice, I think of a good race car driver. You know, so big lock up there.
Yeah, it was a lock-up, and Randerson was able to go through into 24th position. That was Lopez who he got by. And see, Lopez has now got the likes of Giovanni Solito and Eric Scaldaferri.
And
Scaldaferri
back there dragging up on the backside of this group here.
Yep, he needs to leave room as well, does Bartolsa, which he does through that part of the racetrack. Now he's on the outside line. The worry for him is anyone going to block up in front of him to prevent him from going through on Scaldaferri? The answer to that question is that he has to sit back in. So Bartolsa not able to make his way back through the field. One driver that did pit in, or maybe some drivers that pitted in for repairs are trying to come back through. That is Chris Patel through on Brad Fulligan for 3rd place. So Fulligan, who was in 2nd position at one point, is now down to 4th position. The drivers we saw coming for repairs, that was Nguyen. I think it was Nguyen who was in earlier. He's out of the race now, is Nguyen, unfortunately. I was thinking about, was it Taumina that got involved in that incident earlier with...
Yes, Taumina, yes.
Who was it that he collided with earlier? Because I'm struggling to remember who it was.
He spun it and hit the wall there coming out of, I want to say turn 7 or 8, right in that area.
Well, that's interesting, actually. But it was an incident he was involved in where someone was trying to take the race in line, as you were mentioning about the brake bias that driver had earlier.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that was Louis Ranson, I think.
I think that's coming back to me now. Louis Ranson is running in 24th position, so he's coming back through the field rather nicely.
It was Ranson that I had said, I thought when he hit the brakes, it looked like the back end of the car twitched pretty hard, which would indicate that he had the bias set a little too far to the back. Twitching right there, too. Power. I tell you what, people don't realize how hard these cars are to drive. And I tell you, you got to have some good throttle control and brake control on these cars. No ABS, no anti-lock brakes, no throttle control. So these cars are tough to drive.
Ranson is making his way back through the field rather nicely. Justin Fields, on the other hand, is through on Kuchi Ito for 15th position to the outside, but Ito will have the inside line for the first corner.
Actually, good run by both of these guys, though, you know.
Kuchi Ito, who started the race from 22nd, is up to 15th, and Justin Fields has started one position behind him, is now up 7 places into 16th. He is under threat, though, from Sipe Willems, who has had a respectable race so far from where he had started. He was 26th on the grid. He's now off the racetrack whilst running in 17th.
Wow, he did not pick a slowdown up for that either.
No.
Jesse may have had a put in here. Let's see.
Just carried too much speed.
Yep. Let's keep it out of the wall, though. Tear it up or anything. Oh, Stu Milne.
Yeah, he's gone down. Justin Fields has gone down the order as well. This is over at turn 8. So Fields locks up ahead. He nearly took out Willems, and Stu Milne had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. And that car's got to be torn up, too.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's got damage.
Oh, yeah. It's 45 degrees in the wrong angle there.
Yeah, you don't need Sherlock Holmes to tell you the fact that it's damaged. So that is Stu Milne is going to be heading off into the pit lane for repairs. The same for Justin Fields. And now we're looking at Johanet for a brief moment.
Patel has slid up into second place here.
He has, and he's pulled away from Brad Fulliger. Yunus Amal's up the order. Where's Nick Nagler? He's running in 6th place now. He's behind Tony Jimenez.
Wow. And it wasn't that long ago. Fulliger was at the back. It had dropped all the way to the back of this group. I hate to pull the camera off these guys. It's been such a phenomenal battle up here. But, I feel like I'm not doing the rest of the field justice if I don't show them. But you could keep the camera on this group up here the whole time.
You could do. And there's only 13 laps to go, and there's no way Chris Patel's going to have the time to catch Johan Annette.
I mean, at this point, Annette's just absolutely demonstrating the same thing he's done, every time he shows up. What's funny is today when I was getting ready for this race earlier, I was loading up some of this new software and stuff, and I decided you have to be in a session to do that. So I went into an official Super Formula Lights race, and there were so many of these guys in that race practicing for this, like Patel, I think Pulliger was in there. There was a bunch of them. There's probably 6 or 8 guys from this league in there. Oh, All's going a little wide there.
Yeah, he was. He went all forward with the race.
Run a little wide there, actually, I believe.
Well, he's going up the inside here on Brad Fulliger. This is nice for third position if he can make the move work, and he has made the move work. Nick Nagler is through on Jimenez at the same time. That's him through into 5th place. So Nagler is back up the order a little bit now in his pursuit for a podium. And he has to go quite a bit back to find Mehmet Taski in P7, who's got no one to fight with right now.
No, he's back, I guess almost 2.5 seconds or so. I'm sure he'd like for him to keep battling up here. I'll tell you who's pulling away is Patel, man. He has got almost 3 seconds on these guys, just that fast.
Yeah, he's quick. He's been quick today, is Patel. 4th position on the grid. He's now up into 2nd place. Simon Fessi, I have to give a shout out to, who's running in 13th. Started the race in 32nd place.
Yeah, up 19 spots. Not our biggest mover? No. Taus was our biggest mover. Up 20 spots, but yeah, Simon Fessi up 19 spots all the way up to 13th. But he's going to end up with a top 10.
I don't know if he'll pass any more cars between now and the end. So we'll have to hope for more drivers to fall by the wayside in this one. The driver we spoke about earlier, Ludo Runzon, is now in 22nd position. So he's up a couple of positions from the last time we spoke about him. But this is the fight to look out for here between Fulliger in 4th place, Patel in 3rd in the multicoloured livery ahead of him, and it's Nick Nagler in the green-white, and in the white and
kind of
red
orange,
a little bit.
Orange, yeah. Well, I guess they're like orange dots, or.
Well, he is part of the Comunidad Alien team. Is Tony Jimenez, most specifically the Hydra team that he's part of. He's the only Hydra representative for tonight. But let's hope his teammate can make his return next week.
Clarification for our sake, that was apparently a misunderstanding that we had as broadcasters, that we were told at some point that only one car from the team counts, for the team championship, like the highest placed car, but that's actually not true. So if there's 2 cars, to a team, both the cars, they total their points up, and then they get points according to where they rank with their total points. So both cars do matter, because the way it had been explained to me several seasons ago was that only the top car in the team counted. That's why single car teams were able to do so well, but that's actually not true. So just a clarification there. They laid it out for me today. I think it was Andy Flint sent me a message. Quite funny too, the way it was worded. Kind of just fun little message about explaining how the points for teams work.
And good time racing, giving Chris Patel all the support he needs in the live chat, and he's en route to 2nd place with the way this race is going. Nick Nagler has got through on Brad Fulliger for 4th position whilst Jim was going through what he was saying there, and now he's looking to go after Yunus Amal, who's occupying that final podium position. Sesenya has been in a squabble with Dan Sagas further back. They are in a squabble over 17th position. There it is, Alejandro Sesenya.
Look at that fantastic looking paint job, would you? Black and chrome from the nebulous alien team there. Alien team. nebulous.
Well, they are going up the hill and heading towards the pit straight. And so with Willems, and he's determined to make an impression this season as he goes over the line to begin his 26th lap. Just 10 to go here in Interlagos. A lock up ahead from Cesena, but no harm done.
That was a relatively minor lockup. Currently, the way the tire profile works in iRacing, they don't really scramble right here. They don't really put flat spots on the tires, so it's not as penalizing as it could be. But word is on the street that that's coming, and once it does, that's going to be, that's going to change everything. Once you can flat spot these tires, because that'll vibrate the car to death.
So Willems is on his way through into 18th position. I wonder if his tyres are going off. Because now Tony Jimenez has got him in his sights and he's
just passed him,
heading through. Yeah, I don't think Fulliger's going to fight this one. No, he's letting him go through.
I wonder if his tires are going off a little bit. It's possible. I mean, we're at that spot in the race, and they've been, Fulliger and Nick Nagler were literally battling the entire race. You can certainly wear those tires out, and this surface here is pretty abused and a lot of heat down here, and so it's certainly possible. See what the track temp is today. Oh my goodness, track temperature.
So it's 4. Where is the track temperature? 36.
36, yeah. No wonder the tires are falling off.
The drivers are going to have to cope with that for the rest of this one, even though with the way the clouds are gathering over the racetrack, it doesn't exactly tell the same story as what the stats are suggesting. But there we look at Ludo Ranson through on Richard Van Veen. That's for 21st position. Marcello Caruso with the next driver he'll be chasing. So at least he's coming back through nicely. The driver he collided with earlier in the race, Taormina, he's out of the race, is Taormina.
Yeah.
So he's gone no further. So the drivers who have lost from the race so far, we have lost Justin Fields, Clark Williams, Adam Sands, Vincenzo Taormina, George Taylor, and Guyan, Stefan Dodderer, Patrick Reliant, Eddie Amos, and Harry Saston.
I tell you what, I'm looking here. The gap from Unisamal to Patel is closing. It was right at 3 seconds earlier when I spoke about it, which was a lap or so ago, and now it's down to 2 seconds. So he's closing it up pretty quickly.
Well, Chris Patel will need to be on his toes from here on in, as Carrizosa has gone round, unfortunately. So he's gone down a few positions. He's behind Marcello Caruso, who's got Ludovic Ranson on his tail.
From the Carrizosa. Oh, there, around there.
Yeah, that's not his first mistake of the race either.
No, well, apparently he had. This was. Oh.
As much as there was an opening, I don't think Carrizosa was going to get the move done.
Yeah,
very well there.
No, that was a. Well, I mean, that's a tough spot to I was a little late in that sequence of S's to try to pull that move off. If you're going to do that, you need to launch it a little sooner than that. Which I believe was that Chino that he was involved with, because it looks like he's got a black a meatball flag now. Oh, Carrizosa just had another incident.
I think he's gone into the barrier this time.
Oh,
so he is off the circuit.
Towed it back. He's done. Battle up front. But yeah, the gap to Patel is closing.
Well, there's Patel 15 seconds off the lead of Johan Annette, on his way to open his account with the race win. Last season, it was Nick Nagler, not Nick Nagler, it was Johan Annette who took the first race win last season when it was held If I can get my mascot. It's in Belgium where he took the first win at Spa. Now he's about to do the same here at Interlagos to kickstart his season in the best way possible. The question is, can he maintain the consistency all the way through the campaign?
Yeah, this little group up front is kind of separated now. You got Unisamal is closing on Patel, and I got a feeling with 5 laps to go, he's probably going to get there. And then you got Nagler back here with Jimenez. Bulliger's kind of fallen just a wee bit off the back of this group now.
Saw a car coming out of the pit lane. Who's that that's just coming out of the pit lane there?
Lachina, maybe?
Maybe. Lichinanya.
Is that how you say it? Lichinanya, yeah, that's...
Yeah, because of the accent above the N.
That's way over my Texas head. This is Richard Van Veen here. Looks like he's fixing to have a incident. Yeah, that's not too bad. Oh, nice spin, brought it back around. Okay. Danger, didn't put anybody else in danger. Good job.
Here we see the battle for third place, or fourth rather, between Tony Jimenez and Nick Nagler. Amal is continuing to close in on Patel for second, and there's also a battle between Folliger and Mohit Taski.
And this little battle right here is fixing to get hot and heavy right here, it looks like.
There goes Jimenez on the inside of Nagler, and it's fourth position going to the former champion of this series. And Tony is on his way past, and that's going to please his viewers and supporters who have been joining us in the live chat. Do make sure you like and subscribe in case you haven't already done so. And we're looking further ahead as we look at the leaders getting through more of the back markers as Jimenez holds off Nagler, who goes off the track.
Way off.
So the next driver that Johannet will be lapping, I think, is Stu Milne, who's running in 29th place.
Yeah, he's making quick work of him. It's 16-second lead here. This Unisamal Chris Patel thing seems to have kind of slowed now. It's like Patel kind of kicked it back in to make sure that he doesn't get any closer. Kind of maintaining that 1.5-second gap, which is plenty with 4 laps to go if he just can maintain that for another lap or two.
Miguel Gutierrez is the latest to fall down the order, as Lopez has also been passed by Eric Scaldaferri, or so he thought. And there are these two fighting over 21st place. The Frenchman moves in front, or Gutierrez moves in front, but Ranson isn't exactly giving it up at the moment.
No!
And they make contact at Ferragura. It was Scaldaferri, my apologies, who came together with Lopez. So that's a terrible shame for both Lopez and Scaldaferri. I wouldn't be at all surprised if both cars suffered damage.
Oh, I just noticed who is in this race right here running in 8th place. Look who it is.
Yeah. Alex Schuster involved in a championship involving Radicals.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's running in position 8. He's Dyson with Rob Ridgway, who's going to the inside, heading towards Ferradura now. And there goes the American as Miguel Gutierrez makes his way into the pit lane and back out again.
I'll tell you what, you and I both have watched. Alexander Schuster is fast. You know, the fact that, you know, he's back here in 8th or 9th place, you know, that just goes to show you the class of this field, because, I mean, you and I have watched Schuster beat some of the best radical drivers in the world, you know. So yeah, this guy's fast. I'm glad to see him in this series, though, because he's a heck of a driver. So it's going to be a lot of fun with him in here.
A new challenge for Alex Schuster, the German, who's about to finish in P9 with the way things are going. As we look at the Italian Marcello Caruso, who has got Alejandro Cesena in front. Now he's still behind Cesena, who's having a respectable race, running in 17th position. Tony Jimenez isn't giving up on the podium at the moment. He's 1 second off Yunus Amal, who's now just 1 second behind Krish Patel. So the battle for second place is far from over.
Got 2 laps to go and then cross the line. So, yeah, that's plenty of time to close that gap up. I don't think that Schuska, Robert Ridgway battle, now Andy Flint is getting involved in that too. That's going to be a battle here to the end.
Well, we don't have long left, and we look at Schuska, who has Andy Flint right on his tail. Scott Taylor's another 5 seconds back from these three, who are in their own squabble. Penultimate lap started by the race leader Johan Annette, who's on his way to the first win of the season, just like what it was last season over at Spa. He has lapped the entire field up to round where Asia Lopez is in 28th.
That guy he is incredibly fast. That's so impressive, especially knowing the level of the other drivers out here, you know.
There we look at the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place drivers. And it looks like Simon Fessi may be suffering just a little bit of a connection issue at the moment. It's fine now. I hope he'll experience that for the last time in this race. We run a ball with Chris Patel, who has Amal closing in, but is Amal close enough to have a go?
Not yet. I mean, right around that 1 second mark, which it doesn't take much to make up a second. Just a little bobble from Patel, and he'll be all over him.
Well, we thought we were going to maybe get an attrition, but judging by the numbers that we had tonight,
not too bad.
It's not been too bad. Not been too bad at all.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Andy Flint here is in the top 10 position, up 7 spots, but I think he's trying to pick up another spot or two if he can here on this final lap.
Well, the final lap has started for Johan Annette, who got the gap to 17 seconds as we speak. But I think he's backed down a little bit because he knows he's so far out in front. He doesn't need to take any more risks here.
Nope.
An overtake from Luca Ferrari on Scott Taylor. I think Taylor made a mistake on this lap, so he's now down another position. He's about to go down again at the expense of Dan Sagers, who goes on by. There is Alex Schutzko with Robert Ridgway at turn 1. Is Schutzko going to go through here back into P8? He has the inside line for the second corner here, but Ridgway goes out wide. Schutzko will have the momentum on the exit all the way through turn number 3, and Andy Flint feels he can also snatch 2 in one go. If he's feeling lucky, he's got through on Ridgway. It's almost a concertina collision. Well, it was a concertina collision technically because Robert Ridgway has been tipped off the circuit.
Oh my goodness.
We need to go to the race leader, Johan, who's coming through Yunsao for the last time. And there he is. He makes his way through more of the back markers. It's been a season opening dominance from Johan Annette, who's heading over the line to take the first race win of the season in Brazil. And it's Chris Patel, a long way behind, who's going to hold off Yunus Amal for second place. Over the line goes Annette, and what a brilliant job he has done to get up there. Robert Ridgway has retired on the last lap, but Chris Patel comes through to finish second, ahead of Yunus Amal, and it's Tony Jimenez in 4th place, with Nick Nagler in 5th position, and it's Brad Filliger who dropped back from him. He gets over the line in 6th. And then we've got Mehmet Saski, Alex Schutzke, Andy Flint, and Luca Ferrari running out the top 10.
Yeah, we had some very, very fun battles today, man. If this is any indication of what this season's going to be like, which I'm sure it is, because we always get, great. This series is full of great racing. So, still got some battles back on the track out here, trying to settle some points disputes here.
Yep, these are still racing. These are on the lead lap. We are looking at Eric Scaldeferri, who's coming over the line. And Robert Ridgway is classified in 27th place. Might get just a quick look at that incident, Jim, but I think we're going to run out of time to do so.
We'll be all right. Let's see. Let's see what happened there. I almost thought that was almost a net code thing. Oh, this is a different something after the fact. I was even.
Yeah, well, that's rage quit there from Robert Ridgway. I don't necessarily like seeing that.
Yeah. So let's see right here.
So this is Ridgway going through on.
Of it.
Yeah, this is. So if we go.
This isn't very far from it. Here, we'll just let it run from here for a second while we're letting the last guys cross the line anyway, because it happens right down here. So.
And this is. So Flint goes through the middle, shoots cuts across, which then puts Flint into. You know what? That could go down.
I think that was netcode.
Just moving across.
Do
you think it was netcode?
I mean, it didn't look like there was any kind of reaction from Andy Flint that would have jerked him over that far to have that happen. Oh yeah, I hate that for him there so bad, but trying to get a better look at it.
Yeah, it looks like netcode between Flint and Ridgway.
And Ridgway, which is horribly unfortunate because the reality was those three looked like they were pretty clean right there. I'm going to one more time look at something here. Something that are.
Maybe if we could look at the onboard of Flint, that might give us a clue.
We could do that. I think the problem is if with the onboard of Flint is going to
Flint's the one in the middle.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking for him on track where he's at after the. Because this is showing me that after the race finishing order. Here we go. Hard to tell.
Yeah, I do agree. I think there might be some netcode involved in that.
Switch to one more angle. Sorry to beat this like a drum, but I don't think that he did. I don't think that he did anything wrong there. And
he got boxed in, Jim. It's netcode.
Yeah, I agree. I think it 100% is. All right. So that we should everybody done and dusted and finished here. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Let's clear all this off the screen and let's get us some overall race results.
At the end of the race, it was Johan Annette who took victory, Chris Patel in second place. Well worked as well. The same for Yunus Amal in P3, and it's Tony Jimenez in fourth position. Nick Nagler in fifth, followed by Brett Villiger and Mehmet Taski. Alex Schutzker, Andy Flint, and Luca Ferrani round out the top 10. In 11th position is Scott Taylor, followed by Dan Sagers with Soak Willems and Simon Vessi next behind. And then we look to Alejandro Cesena in 15th position and Marcello Caruso in 16th. There's Ludwig Ransson in 17th position, Hadakuchi Ito, Giovanni Solito, and Adam Talsma, who rounded out the top 20. In 21st place, we've got Richard Van Veen, followed by Gregors Hortala, Eric Scaldaferri in 23rd, with Miguel Gutierrez next behind. Max Bartolotta in 25th place. He'll be very disappointed with that. Dorian Arroyo with a respectable drive to 26th after starting 43rd. Robert Ridgway crashed out on the final lap, shown in 27th place by Asier Lopez, Stilmel, and Paul LeMay. Then we've got Max Chiquino, Josu Lechinana, and it's Hachi Cabasuelo. And Philip Casey, with John McKenzie heading over the line in 35th position and a lap down. Mark Heppel, we didn't see a lot of him throughout that race, but he ended up over the line in 36th place. Robert Walton, 2 laps down in 37th place. And we got Marco Almanzo, who got over the line, as did Paul Distelli. But the drivers we lost from that race: Justin Carasosa, Justin Fields, Clark Williams, Adam Sands, Vincenzo Taumina, George Taylor, and Guyan, Stefan Dodderer, Patrick Rowlands, Eddie Amos, and Harry Saston. 39 out of 50 made it to the end, Jim.
Again, That is a bit surprising to me. I thought it was going to be worse than that. So I have to give these guys a lot of credit. There was a lot of good, clean, hard racing out there today. You put 50 cars, on a track, going to get incidents. There's just no way to avoid it. So overall, good, solid, clean racing and a great start to this season. I am so excited for the rest of the season.
And we're most certainly looking forward to the next round as well at Road Atlanta, which isn't too far away. You know exactly where to find us. Do make sure you like and subscribe, and that way you won't miss a thing on the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League, and of course all the other leagues which we have to offer. Well, after the race here at Interlagos, it's 1 out of 1 from Johan Net, who won by a whopping 17 seconds over the rest. Will he continue that way into Road Atlanta? We'll find out in a week. I am Tom Cairns with Jim Cunningham, and we'll speak to you again soon when the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League returns. And it's good night.